Rwanda's national carrier RwandAir has launched its Kigali-Lusaka route as it seeks to grow a presence on the continent. CNBC Africa's George Ndirangu reports.
We're here in Lusaka, where RwandAir officially launched and celebrated 3 weekly direct flights to Zambia. And now, being the 18th destination, this is well within the plans intended to grow the airline's network and should have a tremendous effect on the numbers that we'll see investors coming into Rwanda.
We always felt that it was not fair that we overfly Zambia to Johannesburg, yet there is a warm-hearted population that could also do with our population, our services. And it was indeed a feeling that we always had, that we need to come and launch ourselves and our services in this market. We need to offer the choices. We need to also show our brothers and sisters in this country that an African airline, another African airline, can offer quality services at affordable prices and still serve the continent. We are currently doing more than 500,000 travelers a year, and this is going to grow to about 1 million in the next 3 to 4 years.
The launch of this maiden flight was made possible due to a codeshare agreement on the Lusaka-Johannesburg route, with RwandAir as the operating carrier and ProFlight Zambia as the marketing carrier. According to RwandAir CEO John Mirenge, negotiations were made easier due to the hospitable and result-oriented nature of the two countries.
It all starts with a bilateral air service agreement, which is normally agreed between officials of both countries. So you agree on rights. Those rights could be point-to-point or even point to further points, which is in our jargon known as fifth freedom rights. I want to say here that the Zambian authorities were very, very friendly and easy to us when we approached them and wanted to be offered fifth freedom rights. That is to go beyond Zambia to South Africa, and South Africa, beyond Lusaka to any other destination. Those rights were given. And it was done in such a short time that we are really very appreciative of the government of Zambia and its officials.
We're talking about stimulating the African market. You know, Southern Africa joined to East Africa. Both great tourist destinations. Between ourselves, we got a potential domestic tourism market of probably more than 5 million, because the population is 50 million. Just take 10%. 5 million can travel more easily. Then we got great products between our destinations. We got the gorillas in Rwanda. We've got wildlife in Kenya. We've got the Victoria Falls in Zambia. For the international tourists, Africa becomes more attractive, because then now we can offer them not just the gorillas in Rwanda or not just the Victoria Falls, but we can tell them, come to Africa, see the gorillas, see East Africa, see the Victoria Falls, end up at Table Mountain, and then get back home. It can never get better than that.
There has been a recurrent concern over high ticket fares and strict visa restrictions hampering movement within the blocs or neighboring African countries, therefore causing one of the biggest obstacles to intra-Africa trade.
I will have to be sincere here. It is all about competition. If a destination is already overserved, then chances are that the fares will be low, of course, influenced by the competition on the road. If it's underserved, then chances are that fares will be slightly higher. But also, like you put it, there are also a lot of other fees, charges, taxes that are imposed by a lot of our countries on the continent. So some of those all end up in the ticket that a customer has to pay.
The open skies policy that COMESA is pursuing under the Yamoussoukro decision is what is able to enable RwandAir to be able to come here. And we are very hopeful that this is just the beginning, that African skies will be more free and we are able to interconnect our continent. much more freely. There are some unnecessary costs that governments maybe need to waive to be able to make it affordable. For example, some of the landing fees and taxation are quite high. That makes it quite difficult. But we hope that with the greater competition and the realization that other airlines from outside the region are coming in and could easily put our airlines out of business, then we have to really work together to ensure that our local airlines can survive.
When we start opening up regions, with time, those are the next issues. You can also talk about visas, for example. If there are visa restrictions and yet we got connectivity, those are the next things that we in the tourism industry can now start lobbying for, so that there's uniformity. Right now, there's a visa requirement between our two countries to travel. But with time, if we see that this is a hindrance, there's no reason why we can't drop these things, unless there's a good reason why we should keep them.
Opening up of new businesses, strengthening ties with African countries and paving the way for new opportunities is well within RwandAir's plan to continue growing its network. With the ongoing development of the Bugesera International Airport and addition of more aircraft onto its fleet, RwandAir's official airline is on its way to commence setting standards on an international level.
RwandAir has given us, RwandAir is like a super student, and everybody else should follow what the super student is doing. So I'm very happy for that.
All the blocks are in place. Financing, planning are all being worked on. And I'm sure before the end of this year, some good news will be coming through.